Okay, so I want to take a moment and look at a proper microphone setup. And again, we have the lovely Madeline here to be our floor model here for this example. But first things first, pop filter, pop screen, okay? Why do you even need one? The reason is that when you say certain consonants, specifically S or P, and you can try this, put your hand in front of your face and say like, please, you'll feel that puff of air. And what happens is that if that, thank you, if that hits the capsule in this large diaphragm condenser mic, that it can, literally that force of air will cause the signal to spike. So we use these pop filters, and they make soft ones, and this one's like a more like metal graded one, but it's just sending the air in other directions other than right at the microphone. So when they say those specific words, it doesn't hit. So about like a fist away is typically a good place to start. And then if we look at her body position, okay, so she's standing upright, and she has a very slight upward tilt. Again, Joe and I were talking about this earlier. You don't want your head to be up because that closes your voice. You don't want to be looking straight down because that closes your voice. So start about, eye line and then just slightly up. And then you can see with the mic, it is up here and pointing right at her mouth, okay? And okay, another question people always ask is, okay, well, why do I have the mic, you'll see in photos the mic's, upside down. What's that all about? The original reason was because a lot of microphones generate a lot of heat, predominantly tube mics. And so you want the heat, because we know heat rises, we go back to our science classes, that is not rising into the capsule, it's rising up and away. With this 87, it's really not going to get warm because it's phantom powered and etc. But that is why a lot of those mics are set up like that, and it's not just because it looks cool. There actually is some science behind it. Also, if we look at the XLR cable, we can see that it's wrapped around the mic stand. And the reason for that is in the event, God forbid, that the mic would fall out of that shock mount, it would be grabbed by the cable being wrapped within the mic stand and not fall to the floor and crash. So there is a method to that madness as well. But final closing thoughts. Again, have the singer about, her face should be right about here. Unless she's really belting, she could back off, but her nose should be right up on it. We can show an example of that. And then she still has enough distance away from the microphone. If you're too close to that mic, you start getting what we call proximity effect, which makes it sound more boomy. So you don't want to have that unless you're intentionally trying to do it. But at the end of the day, on this, again, basic foundational level, this is a great setup, can't go wrong, and hope this helps.